is vitriolic, and it's all from women. It's like, who is this old white bastard telling us what we should do with our bodies?
You see the ONS data that came out a couple of weeks ago that said for the first time ever since records began, 50.1% of women are childless by 30. So there are more women without children at 30 than there are women with children. The first time ever.
Well, what our society does to 19-year-old women, or 18-year-old women, 19-year-old women, we just lie to them all the time. You know, the first lie is, there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition. So that's the first lie. The second lie is, there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. And so that's the second lie. And then the third lie is, there should be nothing more important in your life than your career. So that's the third lie. And then implicit in that is the idea that children are a burden, and that the idea that women should have children is part of the oppressive patriarchy and should be resisted. And who are men to tell me what I can do with my body? And hey, fair enough, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, I've worked in female-dominated occupations my entire life. For example, I worked as a daycare worker way back when there were no men doing that, but I really liked kids, and so that was fun. And I worked for social services in Alberta in the child care department, and then I've been working as a psychologist, either training or as a psychologist since then, and that's been a female-dominated enterprise increasingly as the years went by, but even when I first entered it. So I'm in the post-female in the workplace generation firmly. I never experienced the world except as that, and so I've watched women progress through their professional careers at every level of attainment, from the lowest to the highest, and observed what happened, and relatively, I would say, bias-free, because I didn't know. And what I've seen is that as women progress towards their late 20s, there's a psychological transformation, and what happens is that they place less emphasis on their career and way more emphasis, particularly on having a child. And that really reaches a crisis point around 29 or 30 for the vast majority of women, and their attitude flips. And I've seen it flip very dramatically with many women.
Eso que dice Jordan Peterson es bien interesante porque prácticamente él lo vivió, él lo ha estudiado, se ha dedicado a hacer varios estudios científicos al respecto de eso y muchas otras cosas, pero él lo ha vivido en su vida, lo ha visto, yo lo he visto, muchos de nosotros lo hemos visto. Y si estudias, comparas con hubo un estudio de ratas que vamos a hablar próximamente. También si te fijas cómo eran los ancestros, los chimpancés, todo eso es parte de nuestra naturaleza como humanos. No puedes pelearte contra tu naturaleza, y es lo que estos movimientos progresistas quieren hacer. Quieren negar lo que es la naturaleza humana y pretender que pueden manipularnos, pueden manipular nuestra naturaleza. Y cuando te metes con la naturaleza hay consecuencias muy, muy graves. Hablaremos más de eso en el canal. No se les olvide seguir y suscribirse para apoyar. Gracias.